Live from WSIL-TV in high definition, this is News 3.
It was just exciting. I mean, your adrenaline was going, but, it was like I didn't know what to do.
Tense moments as tornadoes touched down in the region during last night's storms. But first, a local home goes up in flames, and the fire department across the street fails to show up in time.
They have radios, they have a backup plan. Where was the backup plan? No backup plan.
Good evening. Most homeowners consider living close to the fire department a good thing. That's what Jamie and TJ Gray thought about their West City home. It's along Blakely Street, just across from the West City Fire Department. But that location did not help early this morning when their house went up in flames. News 3's Fana Haile-Selassie has our story.
It's a scene from a nightmare. A fire starts in the early morning hours as your family sleeps. Homeowner Jamie Gray says, thankfully, her husband woke up after he felt something was wrong.
I just opened the door and there was just flames already.
Jamie says she quickly got everyone out of the house and called 911. Then her family called again and again after no one showed up.
And I called again and said, my daughter's house on fire. West City's not got here yet. And they said Benton is on their way here.
But not West City.
No.
What started as a small fire near the Gray's new dryer quickly spread as they waited for help.
Upon arrival, we found that fire had progressed into not only a room of contents fire, but also a structural fire with structural components.
Jamie's aunt, Sue McLaren, says Benton and Coelho's fire departments all arrived before the West City volunteer firefighters, and the family wants to know why.
The fire department didn't show. You pay taxes, you got the fire department right across the street. Why didn't they show?
Officials say they didn't get toned properly for this house fire. Now city officials are investigating, but mistake or not, it cost the Grays their home. A source close to the investigation says West City has its own dispatch and uses its own frequency to tone out for fire calls. But the dispatcher on duty used the wrong frequency.
We did offer them some ways to help through the American Red Cross and some other things, so hopefully they'll take full advantage of that and they'll come back bigger and stronger.
The homeowners and their families say they don't plan to let this slide with West City.
They'll go to town hall. There's going to be answers if we have to go and sit at their front door.
In West City, Fana Haile-Selassie, News 3.
We made several calls to the West City Fire Department today, but those calls went unanswered. Mayor Chuck Cochran says the city is conducting an internal investigation, but there was no negligence on the part of the volunteer firefighters. Well, it was a day of cleanup in several communities that saw damage during last night's severe weather. The National Weather Service has confirmed a tornado touchdown in Stonefort around 8 o'clock last night. This morning, crews cleaned up debris from several fallen trees. The tornado also damaged 3 barns, 2 homes, and some power lines. Officials estimate the twister had winds of about 100 miles an hour. It first touched down a mile south of Creel Springs and was on the ground for 10 miles total. Stonefort Mayor George Jackson says cleanup will cost the city $3,000 to $4,000. Strong winds whipped up damage in Goreville as well. Parts of Russell and Tracy Raw's home was blown to pieces. They say around 8:30 last night they heard what sounded like a freight train. After it calmed down and they went outside, they realized their roofed porch had been blown away. Shingles were blown off and their outdoor furniture was also scattered across the yard. The family's still waiting to hear from their insurance adjuster, but Russell estimates nearly $100,000 in damage. Some isolated damage in Massac County from the storms as well. Take a look at this big tree that came down in Metropolis. It fell right onto a house, as you can see. This was at the corner of 18th and Gibbons Streets. There are no other reports of severe damage or injuries, though, in Massac County. The severe weather left its mark on parts of western Kentucky as well. In Marshall County, Calvert City saw the worst of the damage. A tornado touched down there, packing winds of around 85 miles an hour. Our meteorologist Nick Housen was there today. He joins us now in the newsroom with the story. Nick.
Eden, a couple businesses sustained damage and several trees were toppled. The tornado wasn't very wide and it wasn't on the ground for very long, proving that even a brief touchdown can cause destruction. The damage path from the EF0 tornado isn't very big, but it's not hard to see exactly where the twister touched down near this uprooted tree.
The debris spread from there on across the highway beside our fire station and out into the field. That's how long the debris was about a half a mile long.
Calvert City Fire Chief Fred Ross was one of the first on the scene. He says it could have been a more dangerous situation had the storm hit sooner, when people were out and about for Halloween.
We did our Halloween here last night, our trick-or-treat, and then we heard about the storms coming in, and so everybody just kind of, was aware of what was happening, and we, when we got the call, we responded.
Their first call was about a roof that was torn off a strip mall near Highway 62. That roof was scattered along the path of the tornado. Storm spotter Regina Kirk saw it all happen.
It was going up pretty high, and then it just, it was like I was just hoping nobody was hurt.
Kirk was sitting in a parking lot just south of the tornado. She says she knew that the situation was serious when she saw the metal roof get peeled back, exposing the inside of the building.
I didn't actually see the circulation and the clouds, but whenever I heard it was a tornado warning, it could have circulation, but I didn't see it touch down.
Today, insurance adjusters and construction crews were busy looking into fixing the roof of the strip mall. One of the businesses in the building was a Curves Fitness. Owners say neighboring gyms are already offering to help their customers until they reopen. In the newsroom, Nick Housen, News 3.
The storms gave way to sunshine out there for our Friday. Here's Jim.
And a lot of festivities that were planned for last night moved to tonight, and the weather is going to cooperate. Maybe a little bit chilly. I think that's about the only complaint we'll hear tonight. Current temperatures, for the most part, right around 60 degrees or so. They will start to fall quickly as the sun dips down. Mount Vernon is reporting 57 right now, 59 in Cape Girardeau. All of the reports coming in from the local airports. Tomorrow morning, it looks like we'll start off around 40 degrees all across the region. Tomorrow afternoon, with northwest breezes and quite a few clouds, looks like only mid-50s, maybe some upper 50s for highs. And then by Sunday morning, it looks like temperatures are likely going to fall to around freezing. We're expecting a frost. And after that, it will be another warm up into next week. And the next chance of rain is already in the outlook. We'll talk more about that in the forecast in just a few minutes.
Jim, thanks. Well, this fall, your donations during high school football games helped us sack hunger across southern Illinois. Each week, the food pantry that brought in the most donations won an additional $500 from Black Diamond Harley-Davidson. And tonight, those pantries are getting that money. News 3's Emily Finnegan is live in Marion, where we're celebrating all the pantries we worked with to sack hunger this season. Emily.
Eden, we definitely are. Sack Hunger was incredibly successful this fall. Overall, we raised more than 31,000 food items and were able to help 18 different local pantries. And as you mentioned, we challenged the opposing communities to see who could raise the most food. And just a few minutes ago here at Black Diamond in Marion, the winners received their prizes. Now, Black Diamond gave $500 checks to all of our winning pantries, but no one walked away empty-handed tonight. Target decided to get in on the action, donating $100 gift cards and $100 worth of groceries to the pantries that did not receive the money from Black Diamond. Leaders from all of these groups say this extra help will go a long way. They're gearing up for a busy holiday season. At the same time, families who rely on food stamps are seeing their benefits cut.
It's kind of like the icing on the cake. When we get near the holidays, we can get some extra little things that will make it a little bit nicer for their holidays.
And the pantries all tell me that this additional support and the food raised at the games is already having an impact on hunger in their respective communities. And really, we cannot say thank you enough to everyone who donated at all of those games throughout the 9 weeks of the football season. We have some very, very happy food pantries that are going to be able to help a lot of people, and we could not have done it without you. Live in Marion, Emily Finnegan, News 3.
And our thanks to Emily for leading the charge as we sacked hunger across southern Illinois this fall. Well, a calm return of Halloween on the Carbondale Strip. Crowds were out all night long to celebrate. Bars along South Illinois Avenue were open on Halloween for the first time since the year 2000. But there was none of the rioting or vandalism of years past. Police were out in full force to prevent trouble. They watched and broke up large groups and kept people from blocking the streets. Businesses are expecting big crowds again tonight and tomorrow night in Carbondale. Officers will patrol the area intensely all weekend long. A Perry County haunted house set to operate this weekend is now shut down because of safety concerns. The DuQuoin 8th grade class was planning to raise money by setting up scares inside this home. Organizers got an okay from the city at first, but the DuQuoin Fire Department didn't find out about the project until this week, and the home didn't meet the special fire codes required for a haunted house.
If they don't have an alarm system and sprinklers and some lighting and some sound where they can stop everything, immediately light it up and get everybody out, get a means of egress, a tragedy can happen.
DuQuoin Fire Chief Bob Shaw says there was not enough time to find a new location for the fundraiser. The city's now working on an ordinance so the miscommunication about fire codes will not happen again. A new museum exhibit chronicles a historic flood in southern Illinois. More on that still ahead tonight. Plus, this rundown old manufacturing property in Metropolis is about to get a big makeover. And our unsung hero saves a family from a fire, but her generosity doesn't stop there. You're watching News 3.
You're watching News 3 in HD. Your Southern Illinois news leader with Eden Schultz, meteorologist Jim Razor, and Darren Kennard.
An abandoned and rundown property in Massac County will get a second life. The Laidlaw facility near Fort Massac in Metropolis has been empty for 7 years now. It's become an overgrown eyesore, but that's all going to change with plans to turn the site into a historical village now. News 3's Sam Smith is here with the story for us. Sam.
Eden, a group called Friends of Fort Massac bought the property from the city. Their goal is to knock down the building and build an 1800s era pioneer village in its place. Fort Massac is one of the most visited parks in Illinois. For nearly a decade, the Laidlaw building cast an ugly shadow over the site.
They see the nice, beautiful park, and then they see the old building. And a lot of people, for some reason that kind of sticks out in their mind, an old building, and they ask why it's there.
The structure has countless broken windows and overgrown plants. It also sits right next to Big John's supermarket. Owner Mike Poole is thrilled the building is going away.
It'll kind of benefit the whole park and hopefully, some of the neighbors like us.
I love this park.
Mike Cordy, president of the Friends of Fort Massac, says the group is approaching the project in 2 phases. Phase 1, the purchase of the building from the city at a cost of $580,000. Phase 2, the demolition, an $80,000 job, all paid for by state and federal grants.
It's been looted. There's not much left in the buildings, but we do hope to use what's left as to offset the demolition, the scrap.
A pioneer village from the early 1800s will take the building's place. Cordy says it'll be an active educational tool, with reenactors performing as blacksmiths and store owners.
We're very happy that this has taken place, and we're looking forward to the future.
Friends of Fort Massac hope to close on the property by the end of the year. The demolition will start soon afterwards. Then they can get started on building the village.
And who is going to operate that village once it's all up and running?
Well, Eden, the Friends group runs only off donations, so they hope the state will take it off their hands once it's finished. But the group will make it work if the state isn't interested.
Okay, and we want to take this opportunity to say goodbye to Sam Smith. You've been with us for about 2.5 years now. This is your last day here at News 3. And where are you going?
I'm going to Lexington, Kentucky. I accepted a position there, a reporter position there, and pretty excited about it. And I really appreciate all your help.
Well, we thank you for all your hard work for the past 2.5 years, and we wish you, of course, the best of luck. And I think I speak for everybody here when I say it's been a pleasure working with you.
Oh, thank you, Eden. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam. And we'll be right back with a word on weather.
Putting accuracy first, this is News 3 weather.
Lots of blue skies around for us today. At times there were a few clouds around. I really expected us to see a little more cloud cover in the afternoon, and it looks like what we were looking at in the charts yesterday is showing up across Missouri right now. Just coming in a little slower, maybe a little more to the west than what we had thought. Off to the north, a lot of cloud cover, a lot of this tied to some very cold air in the Great Lakes region. And you can see a northwest flow has set up, pushing more clouds this way. We expect increasing clouds tomorrow. Probably see some sun in the morning, and by midday or early afternoon, quite a bit of cloud cover. And then I think the clouds may start to break again in the late afternoon. This has been interesting to watch all afternoon long. Not just clouds out there, but some very light showers. And again, these just because of the very cold air coming in, squeezing on the atmosphere, squeezing out that leftover humidity. So even though I didn't put it on the forecast board, I do think there's a chance we see a passing light shower or sprinkle tomorrow. Most of us shouldn't expect to see anything in a rain gauge that we can measure. But if you're going to be out and about, one of the high school football games going on tomorrow afternoon, chance we might see a light sprinkle. That northwest flow is going to increase, and we do look for some breezy conditions. At times tomorrow, wind gusts maybe up around 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the northwest, bringing in cooler air. Temperatures today have been warmer than normal all day, from 48 to 65, our range. In Vienna right now, 58 degrees, dew point 41, and showing light winds. Skycast showing a few clouds around, not showing much in the way of rain, and it passes a cloud cover through tomorrow without any rain, so that's why I think the chance is very small. Sunday, though, high pressure expected to move across the region, should calm the winds down and bring a lot of sunshine, but clear skies and dry air will likely mean a frosty start on Sunday. For tonight, in and out of the clouds with a light west breeze, a possibility. Low temperature likely around 40. We could see some upper 30s. Northwest winds tomorrow pretty steady around 10, at times gusts up 15, 20 miles an hour. And I do expect mostly cloudy conditions for at least a while in the afternoon. Sunday, sunny, 33 to 56. A chilly day all day long. Monday, clouds increasing. Tuesday brings a chance of showers and a chance of just plain old rain again in here by Wednesday. Could change that as we get closer if we see the energy stack up. Maybe a couple of small thunderstorms, but really looking like a rain event.
The weekend looks okay. We'll enjoy that.
I think so.
All right. Thank you, Jim. A Jackson County museum is taking a look back at a historic flood. The Mississippi River Museum in Grand Tower is debuting a new display this weekend called The Flood of 1993. The exhibit was built by the Army Corps of Engineers. It's been in a museum in Alton for the past 10 years. It's now located in a new building on Grand Tower's museum grounds. That building's built to look like a riverboat. Lifelong resident Jack Knupp recalls the 1993 flood. He says he moved his wife and all their furniture to Murfreesboro while he stayed and slept on the floor.
And there was only about 15 or so that stayed in town that had to man the pumps and patrol the levees and sandbag, when something came up.
The exhibit's grand opening set for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Grand Tower's Mississippi River Museum is open each weekend from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. We'll take a quick break. Sports is next.
This is News 3 Sports in HD.
For area high school football players, coaches, and fans, tonight might just remind them of Christmas Eve. It just may be a bit tough to get to sleep knowing what's in store tomorrow. 11 area teams will take the field in 9 games. Only one of the playoff games involving our teams is a regular season rematch. That will be the case in Chester, where the 8-1 Yellow Jackets welcome 6-3 Black Diamond foe Carmi-White County. Chester won the first meeting 19-14. But it's a game the Bulldogs led 7-0 heading to the fourth quarter.
When you know personnel and you know schemes, and you throughout the year, since we're a 10-team league, you get a lot of the same. You see a lot of their games, not just the 2 games you trade for them. So I think it's but it's an advantage both ways. But it does make things a little bit simpler as far as preparation goes.
We have a pretty good idea of their body of work, and it's a little bit scary, but it's probably a coin toss. There is kind of the mystery factor that it's kind of nice to play a team you don't see all the time and just see a different brand of football. But in a lot of ways, in preparation, I'm okay with it.
Tune in tonight around 10:20 as we'll look ahead to all 9 games involving the area teams tomorrow. John Shadowins and Todd Rushing will join me in studio to break down the brackets. Catch the playoff preview tonight on News 3 at 10's Sports Extra. Well, following a week off, the football Salukis return to action tomorrow when they visit Western Illinois. With Corey Faulkner on the sidelines following surgery to his throwing hand, the bye week came at just the right time for the Dogs, who will now turn to redshirt freshman Ryan West in Faulkner's absence. West will be making his first collegiate start tomorrow. It comes after a bye week that featured 4 practices against the Saluki starting defense, something that wouldn't have happened during a normal game prep week.
I think the confidence level within the team is there. We're expecting that we can go in and execute our offense to a high level and do the things that we do well.
Dogs and Leathernecks will battle at 1 tomorrow in Macomb. The Chicago Bulls even their record at 1-1 with a last-second win over New York last night. The Bulls watched the Knicks erase a 13-point second-half deficit to take the lead in the final minutes. Despite a tough shooting night, Derrick Rose hit a baseline runner over 2 defenders with 5 seconds left, giving Chicago an 82-81 home opening win.
It was amazing. It looked like the old Derrick. He works so hard in practice, and the way he just demanded the ball at the top of the key, it was just phenomenal. You want that in your star.
It felt good. I missed enough damn shots the whole night. For me, I'm used to them situations where I work. That's why I work so hard, and I'm not going to continue missing the shots that I'm missing. I work too hard.
Rose finished with 18 points on 7 of 23 shooting. The Bulls visit Philadelphia tomorrow night.
All right, Darren, thank you. This week's Unsung Hero next. A White County family is lucky to be alive after a friend saved them from their burning home, and her help didn't stop there. News 3's Ashley Smith has this week's Unsung Hero.
The window was broken and the curtain was engulfing. The truck's already touched by the flames.
A burnt frame and gutted interior is all that's left of the trailer that the Fry family once called home.
I was at the right place at the right time.
Anita Cosby stopped by the Fry's house to try and fix their flickering lights. That's when the family heard a loud pop and then saw their curtains up in flames. The fire quickly spread to the rest of the house.
That whole day, it was like angels were watching over us. And, you know, Anita being an angel, I guess that kind of, she's an angel on earth.
Anita told Esther and her mom, Gayleen, to get out of the house while she went into Terry's bedroom. Terry is disabled and needed help getting out of the house.
I went in there and I told Terry, I said, you gotta get up, we gotta go. And he said, I can't walk. And he said, just go on. And I said, I'm not going nowhere. And he said, just leave me. He said, you saved my family. He said, leave me.
I remember telling her to let me die there. I remember that.
Anita's still not sure how she was able to save Terry from the fire.
Terry was out. Everything was okay. Like she said, they were hysterical, and rightfully so.
After saving 2 of the family's dogs, Anita's heroics didn't stop there.
I said, they can't go to a hotel. I said, you know, do we have anything?
This is their new home where they've lived since the day of the fire. Anita, along with Paying It Forward Forever, or PIF, help provide not only the home, but household items, clothing, and food.
We wouldn't have been able to get half as far as we did if they hadn't helped us.
The family is grateful for all that they have been given, which makes losing almost everything a little bit easier. But not everything was lost.
I got her wedding ring.
Just like the family, Anita saved this precious item too.
That woman's my angel.
Reporting in Carmi with this week's Unsung Hero, Ashley Smith, News 3.
And a final word on weather going into the weekend.
And we check the travel map in case anyone is on the road this weekend. If you're headed north, Chicago, mostly cloudy tomorrow, high of only 48. If you're headed west, look at all that sunshine out here. It will be here Sunday.
All right, send it this way. Thank you, Jim. And thank you for joining us from all of us here. Take care. Have a great weekend.